Hello, everyone. I am so grateful you're back with me at Mary's Little House of Centerville by way of YouTube. I am so grateful. Thank you for those who view this YouTube and for your support and you're just being there, making it worthwhile to speak to someone behind the camera here. You are so good and faithful. You wouldn't be watching this YouTube series if you were not close to God, or yearn for God, or are starving for the spiritual. You want to be fed. I'm so grateful. Oh, I was just at Mass. I just got in from Mass, and uh, the gospel today was the story of the prodigal son. Someone would say it's more the prodigal father who's so good and overwhelming with his gifts and blessings when the son returned. And I said, when I was at communion and during Mass after that reading of the Gospel of the Prodigal Son, I said, I got to tell my YouTube viewers, my YouTube family, about the Eternal Father. Not that you haven't heard it before, but it just so touched me. And as we are in the second week, or ending of the second week of the season of Lent, and I've been encouraging you to make your confession early and to come clean before God, to find that new innocence and that new goodness, that new purity, that new virginalness, that new awareness of God's love shown in every moment and everything, in all the beauty of creation. Peanut's right here. Let me get, he didn't sleep yet. I haven't talked long enough. But this is my Peanut. He's my Mary's little lamb dog of Mary's Little House. He's such a good little doggy. He teaches me a lot. He's so honest and straightforward. I love it. Okay, Peanut, you go back to sleep. I'm talking now. I put people to sleep. They don't need sleeping pills when they listen to me. Anyway, I do encourage that. And then everything it changes. Our life changes. And we see again, sin deadens us to the spiritual world. Sin blinds us to God's wonder in every moment. What is He doing? You know, God surprises like a divine lover who has surprises galore up his sleeve to surprise his beloved. He's a divine lover, but we can't respond to Him if we're bogged down with sin and bogged down with our worries, bogged down with how the world is going. No, God is with the world. He has the whole world in His hands, as the spiritual says. We have nothing to fear. Yes, we have to work very hard to do all we can to make a better world, to make a more just world, a more beautiful world, a world where everyone feels their goodness and preciousness. But God's in charge. I was talking to someone today who seemed almost despairing for our country, and saying, no matter who's in office, no matter what, God will bring a greater good out of our problems, and call us to heroism, even to persecution, when we stand up for what is true. What a great honor to be persecuted, to lose all for the love of God. That's a chance to show love, to how much we love God, how much we love Jesus, how much we love His church, His people, to be a good example to them of following Jesus, and not to follow the world that is so bogged down with self and individualism and worrying about a profit and pleasure. No, we're not of that kind of ilk. Jesus called us to deny our very selves, leave all that behind, and come follow me, take up your cross, which is our daily duty, with love and passion, and follow Him straight to the Father, bringing lots of people, our own family members, people that are far away from the Lord. We don't judge them, we love them, and we offer our sufferings and prayers for their conversion and for their happiness here on earth, because God wills our happiness. God wills to be happy now on earth. I always remind people that they sort of think, oh no, life's too hard and burdensome. No, Jesus said, learn of me, for I am gentle and humble of heart. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. It is. When you love, there's no burden because you want to please God. When it's harder, it's a time to trust Him more. When we have less than we need, He will provide always, but we have to trust Him more. I told someone, talking about economy and talking about our own budgets, the less we have, the more we can trust. What a privilege to be able to do that, to show God that we really mean it, that we really love Him. We're not just good time Christians, good time Catholics, but that we're that when sacrifice comes, just like with our spouses, with our children, we know that they really love us when they suffer for us with sacrifice. There's no baloney. There's no manipulation or anything when we love in sacrifice. Oh, so people, I want to just read how the Father in this, it's a masterpiece from the Gospel of St. Luke. I just love St. Luke. He just does so many things about God's mercy. This is a trilogy about the lost sheep, the hundredfold, and then the woman who lost her coins on her necklace was a family heirloom, one coin, and she finds it. That's what the sinner returning, or the lost sheep being rescued by the shepherd. But at the end of this trilogy of divine mercy, St. Luke has the masterpiece of them all, the story of the prodigal son. Just look how the prodigal son coming back smelling like pig, like swine, working in the mud and the garbage of pigs, and with his clothes all tattered and hanging off of him. He doesn't look like a very presentable person, because that was his sin. That was the external sign of his sin. He dissipated not only his father's wealth, but his own inner beauty and goodness. He defaced it by sin. And he's not happy, not because he's just eating leftover corn cobs from the pigs, but because he's not happy. He's not with God. We can't be happy in sin. That's why I urge you to not hesitate, to not hold back, but to run to confession, run to God for His healing and forgiveness. Get a new road. Well, anyway, here's one running to God, and here's what happens. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. With that, the son set off in his old tattered garments and smelling like pig. With that, he set off for his father's house. While he was still a long way off, his father caught sight of him and was deeply moved. He ran out to meet him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him. The son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son." Look what the father did. The father said to his servants, "Quick, bring out the finest robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and shoes on his feet. Take the fatted calf and kill it. Let us eat and celebrate, because this son of mine was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is found." Then the celebration began. See what happens when you go to confession? See what happens when you return to God? He didn't even listen to the confession. The son said his confession here. "Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son." What did the father do? Was he listening or what? He wasn't. He said, the father said to the servants, "Quick." He was thinking of something else. "Quick, bring out the finest robe." First of all, he had the external sign of his sinfulness. He had to get those old rags off of him, cover him with our finest robe, and the music and dancing. My God, the father's out there in the middle of the floor dancing with all those happy that he is home, and all kinds of music and celebration that his son's home. He's not going to send him over to the Hard Hands boarding house there, where they live. He's going to be right back where the son's supposed to be, in his father's house. So what I'm trying to say is, don't wait. Please don't wait. I plead with you. I feel so bad. I see people, I know they're not happy. I know that they're in a situation where they have to work to get out of because it's not the right thing. It's not with God. I know that there's things unresolved in their lives. They're carrying burdens way back in their youth to get all of that, to bring it to God. And so he could dance out and celebrate with all of heaven with him and all of us on earth. We're so happy when someone returns. We're a family, people. We're God's family. We're the church, and those who are not in the church, where you're invited. You're and by your love for God and following your conscience, you're connected to us in that wonderful way. But for those who are in God's grace, we're all one in God, in God's under the fatherhood of God. So, oh, please, please, please don't put off your confession. Please, please see the Father. He loves us so much. As you grow with the Father, like Saint Teresa, the child Jesus, her first uh, uh, um, a principle of her little way of spiritual childhood is complete trust in the Father. And she compares it to a little child in her father's arms, just resting in the Father's arms. That is so beautiful. We have nothing to fear, no matter of the economic downturn or the way our country is going toward putting religion sort of on the margins and not have to stand up for what we believe and at a great cost if we're not politically correct. All of that stuff, we trust the Father. The Father will give us what we're to say, what we are to do, what we are to, the strength we have if we have to stand up for what is right and true. Is trying with all my heart to help our little babies and the unborn, and even maybe foolishly or whatever have adopted them, those who that no one wants, that me and Cindy and I've given them a name, and I plead with you to do all you can, especially as fathers who are images of the eternal Father, to do all we can to protect the little ones. That's our job. We're to protect the human family, especially those who are most in danger, the unborn, and those who are born, who are hard to adopt, hard to foster, to get foster care, to do something about that, to help where we can, in the way we can. Not in a, oh my God, he's putting another burden on me. No, it's a joy to be to defend the little ones and to use our strength and our fatherhood to nurture life and to protect them and make them feel secure and loved in the womb and outside the womb. I am so grateful to you. Remember, the Father loves you. He tenderly loves you. And the little flower, I almost forgot, she taught me how to love the Father and to trust. Because I follow her little way of spiritual childhood. And he is such a tender Father. He's so loving. He's not like maybe caricatures of him that are mean and waiting to pounce on us. That is also false and not right at all. Once you get a personal relationship with the Father, every morning before I start work, I get a cup of coffee and I sit in front of the Father's picture there in the front room, and for a half hour I have coffee with the Eternal Father. It's very informal. I have my formal prayer times, but this is very informal, to speak with the Father. One servant of God, the Father asked Sister Eugenia, the Father asked her to do a picture of him, and the picture is him sitting there and his crown. He took off his crown so he didn't want to intimidate her, and set it on the ground so she could have a fatherly talk with him. He's not the big king, Lord Almighty. He is all that, King of Kings and Lord of... But she had the crown's on the ground. I'll have to show you that picture sometime. And the Father and her and all of us are invited to that intimate father-daughter, father-son relationship, to trust him in everything. And the second thing in this, everything is a grace, Trey said. So everything is the Father's will, or permitted by the Father, which is his will. Everything is a grace, and the Father's just loving us with everything that happens to us now. I love, and so then life changes. We see everything as a marvel of the Father's love, surprising us at every moment with His love. Even this hard stuff, when we're asked to suffer or to be calumniated or whatever, it doesn't matter because the Father loves us, and we could suffer for Him and trust Him in that dark time or these times of need. God bless you now. Have a happy Holy Lent. Remember our little icon over here, our little icon of the of Blessed Mother and Jesus. How that's the way you're supposed to look, happy and holy this Lent. God bless you.